Have you ever noticed that the harder you push life to work out, the more it seems to resist? Yet the moment you stop pushing, something quietly begins to move. Welcome, everyone, to this Sunday night's frequency meditation and transmission. Over the past days, many of you who are on this call have been exploring the 2-week morning frequency meditation series we're currently moving through together, Living Partnership with Creation. And each morning includes a meditation and a transmission. And what people have been discovering through direct experience is something very practical. As awareness begins positioning itself more clearly inside the body, center of our sphere. If you're new and you don't understand that, don't worry, it'll come to you. Life no longer feels like something we have to constantly manage or push forward. It begins moving with us. Let's just take a deep breath in right now. Really feel that air coming in your lungs. Feel that inner workings of the body. And across the 2 weeks right now, I think we're on day 7 or 6, we're exploring that shift. Noticing how awareness, presence, and the very frequency we hold begin influencing the way moments unfold in front of us. Timings become clearer for us. Conversations move more smoothly. Situations that once felt tangled, they begin resolving in ways that feel it's more cooperative, more alive. So tonight, we're going to explore the same phenomenon, but from a slightly different angle. Got to keep all the people listening to the 2 weeks entertained. Rather than only noticing what happens when coherence appears, let's experience why life can sometimes fool how we are. And it sometimes feels as though it's resisting us when we're pushing too hard. And why the moment pushing stops, something begins changing almost immediately. Your field response immediately. When the system pushes intensely towards an outcome, what happens is that perception compresses. Attention narrows around a single path. And then that's when the body shifts into more of a mode designed to control and resolve that moment as soon as it can, quickly. And that ability is useful when immediate action is required. Yet in everyday life, it often hides the wider possibilities that are already present for us. So when awareness relaxes and returns to the center of our sphere, perception widens again. The environment becomes more visible in a different way. Conversations reveal more new openings. Timing begins organizing itself differently. And life did not suddenly begin responding. What happened is that you simply became available to see where it already was. In other words, those filters of ours, those distortions, blind spots, they get thinner. So if you've been exploring the 2-week series, tonight's meditation will deepen what your body has already begun recognizing. And if you're joining for the first time tonight, everything we explore will still be directly accessible, but maybe not in the same depth. So just simply allow yourself right now to arrive, nothing to achieve, nothing to force, just the opportunity to experience what begins revealing itself when pushing stops and awareness returns to a clear position. When we start taking back control again. So just allow awareness right now to settle gently into the center of your sphere. It's that quiet point just behind the eyes. It's where perception naturally gathers. And from this position, and if you're new, give yourself time to become familiar with this new environment. Everything new to humans is usually awkward. We usually have our radar up. So from this position, there's no need to reach for anything, question anything, see if you're getting it right or not, or if it won't work for you. Just be here right now. The body already understands how to organize itself when your attention rests here in the sphere, that center point behind the eyes. And whatever you're standing on right now or lying down, just feel that contact of the body part with the ground beneath you. Notice the quiet stability of that connection. The earth supports the weight of the body without any effort from you. Gravity is continuing to work, again, without any effort from you. And at the same time, the spine rises naturally through the center of the torso, creating a gentle lift through the body that feels both, it's relaxed, but it's quietly alert. Just come into your spine. Pay attention to the spine. And as the body settles into this simple architecture, notice how the surrounding environment begins feeling slightly wider. By being centered here, sounds can come and go without demanding your attention. The space around you feels included in awareness rather than separate from it. Even the activity of the mind can be present without needing to change it. Another deep breath in. This is the orientation, like that position in space and time, where the nervous system begins recognizing that it no longer needs to control the moment. Most people move through much of their day in a very different posture of attention. When something important appears, the body leans forward. Breath becomes shallow. The mind begins searching intensely for solutions, strategies, outcomes. And how our mind works, the attention focuses tightly on that one result that seems most important. What happens in that moment, perception becomes extremely efficient, yet also extremely narrow. And from inside that narrow orientation, it often feels as though life itself has stopped cooperating. And in a sense, it has. A conversation doesn't go the way you expected. A plan begins resisting your efforts. Maybe a decision refuses to resolve itself. So the mind pushes harder, assuming that more effort will eventually force the moment to move. And just take another breath in. Notice your spine, your sphere, core of your earth. Yet your body carries another way of relating to the exact same moment. When awareness returns to the center of the sphere, and the body settles into its natural architecture, perception, in fact, widens again. The environment begins revealing details that were invisible while your attention was compressed so much by effort. And you might notice a different tone appears in someone's voice. A new possibility emerges in a conversation. An idea might arrive that has not appeared before. Even timing begins shifting almost immediately. And this is because we're opening up to a wider field, where there's a wider, if you like, intelligence that we can access. So let's just have that settle right now for you. And actually pushing, it compresses perception and it hides possibilities. But when the body relaxes, awareness widens naturally. Patu ko po zete o jila da panda boku zo tapato. Eko on iki se tape so topo. Another deep breath in. And as awareness remains resting in the center of your sphere, it's okay if it leaves the center. That's why we're here, playing in duality, polarity. But when you receive that awareness, which is what tonight's transmission is about, to be aware when we're not positioned in the center, we just come back. No big deal. And in fact, as time goes on, as you start to say centered here, you can intentionally go off your center to explore. To learn through polarity. So as we're in the center of our sphere, the body begins organizing itself more deeply through the quiet architecture of stability. The feet remain connected to the ground while the spine rises gently through the center of the torso. And in this orientation, the nervous system no longer needs to compress perception in order to control the moment. Instead, attention widens naturally. It's our default, actually. Default state to be in. And the environment then starts begins appearing more spacious, responsive to you. So maybe notice a subtle recognition here. Life never stopped moving. Conversations, possibilities, timings, ideas were already forming within the moment. But while attention was slightly focused on a single outcome, those movements remained outside perception. And as our awareness widens, the same environment begins revealing pathways that were actually always present. So in fact, if you like, same system as it's coming in for me, as if you like awakening, ascending. You're just expanding your bandwidth so you have access to a wholer version of you, a wholer intelligence. And if you want to go into the science, physicist David Bohm described how coherence allows deeper patterns within reality to become visible. So rather than forcing the moment into a rigid structure, awareness begins recognizing relationships that were hidden beneath the surface. So in this wider state, the body begins sensing the moment as a living field rather than a problem to solve. And it's this living field surrounds you is what we're bringing awareness to. Entonces, compuesto es la amboya que da eto posura kunjuka nakapo a go a abo ujita. So as the second transmission moves through the body, just allow awareness to rest again in the center of the sphere. Again, whatever body part is connected with the ground, feel that in the spine, through the body. And from here, simply notice the space around you, the room you're in, the quiet sounds that might be present. Or maybe there's more abrupt sounds of television in the room next to you. The simple fact that the moment is already unfolding without you needing to organize it. And often when the body settles like this, and by the way, this positioning gets more and more precise. Well, in fact, that's the one sentence to summarize what we're doing here in density, is coming into position as precise as we can. Therefore, we receive that connection as precise as we can, that transmission as clear. So when the body starts to settle in this position, something from life naturally appears in awareness. It might be a conversation you keep replaying in your mind, wishing it had gone differently. It might be a decision you've been trying to figure out, going back and forth between two options. Or it just might be a situation where the timing feels unclear, where you're waiting for a message, an answer, a sign that it's time to move. So let's allow one of these situations to appear gently in your awareness while the body remains steady and relaxed. So bringing to mind whether it's a conversation that didn't go the way you wished, or it's a decision you keep playing with that you can't decide, or when you should move, when you should divorce, when you should get another job, whatever it is, just bring that to your mind. While the body remains steady, relaxed in your sphere. Just notice simply how it looks from this position. When the body becomes calm and awareness stays centered, situations often begin appearing differently. A conversation that felt tense may suddenly seem simpler. Or a decision that felt confusing, all of a sudden it may reveal a step that feels really obvious. Or something that seemed blocked may show you that life was already moving, just not in the direction the mind was trying to force it. And this is how we change our environment around us. Not through effort, manipulation, control, taking on burdens, sacrifice. We change it by being centered. So we're in alignment with that other intelligence. That other intelligence is you, by the way. It's just that wholer version of you. It's not just that wholer version. It's that wholer version of you that you are gaining access to by being in this position of alignment. And with that, our perception changes. And quite separately, our external environment around us shifts. Time will come is you're not even that heavily concerned with perception. You start to notice how your environment is actually leading the way. That intelligence is already shifting that environment in alignment. So you start to become an observer of your life, participating, co-creating, but the intensity of the outcome softens. Just remain here quietly right now, noticing how the moment begins revealing more when the body is steady and aware. Awareness is relaxed. So bring back to mind that situation. Come into that center and then just observe what comes to you. As this moves through the body, just remain in the same simple position. Body connected with the ground, spine rising through the body, awareness resting in the center of your sphere. Those are the coordinates. And again, let's bring gently to mind something different, where you've been pushing life a little, perhaps trying to make something happen quickly, solving something that keeps circling back, trying to figure out exactly what that next step should be. It could be a relationship where the conversation never seemed to land the way you hoped, or it could be a project you want to move forward, but something always slows it down, some obstacle, or just simply a direction, decision, what direction you should take next in life. Just let that situation appear for a moment while you remain steady here. Often when we look from this wider, calmer position, just like David Bohm's work, something becomes obvious that was easy to miss before. The pressure around the situation softens. A different way of approaching it appears. Like a conversation that once felt difficult, suddenly it seems easier to imagine. That interactions more coherent. So life didn't suddenly change in that moment. What changed was the position from which you were looking, your perspective. Going to Einstein's quote, you can't solve a problem from the same consciousness, perspective that created it. So it's like trying to punch your way out of a paper bag. That's what we humans do. So instead, what if we could change our perspective? How could we shift into a different position where there's a clear communication with that other intelligence? That other intelligence is always there, but we aren't. We're in different timelines. We've narrowed our perspective, so we can't see the whole. Take another breath in. Just remain here, sensing that simplicity of that. The body steady, awareness calm. The moment already moving in many directions at once. Just that quiet recognition that when pushing stops, the full moment becomes visible again for you. And with everything we do, practice this. The more you practice it, the more it reveals itself to you. Again, like everything we do, it's about a relationship, whether it's a relationship with a person, with money, with yourself, with this intelligence, with Earth's frequencies. It goes deeper the more time we put into it. So maybe this week, if you could remember, sometimes what I do when there's something that I want to start to program, I put on my iPhone timer. Just whenever it goes off, 3 or 4 times a day, I go, oh, okay, sphere, spine, earth. What am I trying to push? Bring that up. Practice. Much more will be revealed to you directly from that more complete version of you. And with that, I'll see everybody next week. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week.